Everybody hates Christmas shopping for hunters. The problem with hunters is that when we need something, we usually buy it before hunting season even starts. And by the time Christmas rolls around, hunting season is usually over or close to being over, and we already bought what we needed. When hunters really want something bad that they don't have, it's usually very expensive. And not many children are going to be buying dad a Browning Satori or a pair of Swarovski rangefighting binoculars for Christmas. But there are little things that hunters could always use or upgrade that aren't too expensive and can be used year-round. Dads, especially hunting dads, are usually humble and don't really want to ask their family for things, and this makes it even harder to buy gifts for them. In this video, I'll give you some great gift ideas for hunters, and the best part is everything in this video will be quality gear for under $100 in price. Every hunter or angler out there owns at least one BOONIE hat. But guys tend to have a love-hate relationship with BOONIE hats because we love them because BOONIE hats are the best way to protect your head from the sun in warmer weather, without overheating. And they're just a godsend to us bald guys out there. Unfortunately, most BOONIE hats have brims that are just too big, and they get in the way when you wear a backpack or you sit in the seat in your truck. And a lot of them, the brims are so big, they kind of block your vision when you're trying to hunt or fish. And some of them are just too bulky and heavy to carry around with you when you take them off. Well, I have a solution for you. This is the folding BOONIE hat, and it is just the perfect hat in my opinion. It folds up like this. It even scrunches up even tighter to a little tiny thing. So you could put this in your pocket or your pack whenever you want, and it takes up very little space and it weighs almost nothing. And if you notice on this BOONIE hat, the brim is actually smaller, so it won't block your vision while you're hunting or fishing, but it's big enough that it'll keep the sun off the back of your neck and off of your ears. And this chin strap keeps it in place during very high winds. And if you don't want the chin strap on there, you don't even have to cut it off. It's actually removable. You can remove it and replace it at your leisure. And if you do remove it, it's actually got an adjustment in the back, so you can adjust it to your head size if you don't want to wear the chin strap. Or if you hunt in really windy areas, or if you're on a boat, you can use both. And that works out pretty good. I've used these BOONIE hats on 4 continents, and they just never disappoint. And for $10, you can't go wrong with this BOONIE hat as a stocking stuffer. The greatest advancement in human history was when we were able to create and harness the power of fire. This invention catapulted the evolution of the human brain and made us what we are today. Like our ancient cave-dwelling ancestors, today's hunter also relies on fire for comfort, warmth, and sustenance. Lighters and matches are highly failure-prone, especially when conditions are so bad that a fire is going to be absolutely necessary. I carry a lighter in my backpack and in my truck, but I've had them fail several times. A good fire starter tool will never fail you. It'll never let you down. And the best one that I've ever used is the ZIPPO Mag Strike. And these things are just a step above the competition when you need to make a fire. And it's only $14. So once again, this is a great stocking stuffer. I bet that the hunter in your life has lots of optics. I bet most of his hunting rifles have scopes on them. I bet he has multiple sets of binoculars in the house. I bet he has multiple cameras. He might even have a spotting scope or two. But all of these optics require clean lenses in order to function properly. What you might not know is that most lenses are not damaged from dust, water, or mud like you think they are. Most lenses are damaged when your husband tries to clean them with his t-shirt or a napkin. Lenses require special techniques and specialized products to clean them properly. You could buy everything you need to maintain lenses separately, but that'll cost you a fortune, and it'll take a lot of time to research and gather all of the necessary supplies. So the best thing to do, in my opinion, is buy a complete cleaning kit. And I've been using the K&F Concepts cleaning kits off of Amazon, and I think they're a great value for a full-featured cleaning kit. Have you ever noticed that when your husband goes to the bathroom, he doesn't return for a long time? Have you noticed that he's kind of walking a little funny when he finally does come out of the bathroom? Ladies, I bet you have all kinds of conspiracy theories as to what your husband's doing in there. But here's the truth. He sat on the toilet reading either gun-related stuff from the internet on his phone or gun-related stuff from a book or a magazine. And then he finally got off the toilet and left because his legs went numb from sitting on the toilet too long. And that's why he's walking funny. In a loud, maybe stressful, fast-paced family household, the bathroom is a man's sanctuary. And rather than scold him or create conspiracy theories about what that poor man is doing in the bathroom, show him some sympathy and help him out by getting him some awesome reading material. Every year, a new edition of Gun Digest is released, and these 600 pages of goodness will give him many months of happiness while he sits on the toilet. Socks are a hunter's best friend. Socks can actually make or break a hunt, in my opinion, and I consider them to be the single largest comfort item while I'm out hunting. Out of all of the materials that a sock can be made out of, merino wool is the best balance of everything, in my opinion. Merino wool keeps you warm even when it's wet. But amazingly, merino wool also wicks away moisture and it breathes really good. So it also keeps you cool in warm weather. Merino wool is like nature's magic temperature regulation system. Even when you get these merino wool socks with cushioned feet in them, it's like walking on a cloud of titties all day. Just great. The Darn Tough brand is famous for making merino wool socks, all of which are made right here in the United States of America by American workers. And get this, Darn Tough socks are guaranteed for life. And how often are you going to see that on a pair of socks? I know when I did the John Muir Trail in its entirety years ago, I alternated 2 pairs of Darn Tough socks for the entire trail, which is just amazing. And they returned in pretty good shape with no holes or anything in them. So $27 might be expensive for a pair of socks, but these are worth it in my opinion. Most hunters that I know, especially here out west, use a trusty old BAOFENG UV5R radio for emergency communications or weather alerts in areas where there's no cellular service. Well, BAOFENG finally upgraded the UV5R with several different cheap alternative radios. And these alternative radios now have 10 watts of power instead of 5 watts of power. And my favorite of this new generation of BAOFENG radios is the AR5RM radio. The AR5RM is a real tri-band radio that even includes airband frequencies. So how does this differ from the new 5RM and the new 5RM Plus radios? Well, the AR5RM comes from the factory completely unlocked. I won't explain what an unlocked radio means, but if your husband uses a radio, he'll know what that is and he'll like it. This also differs from the old UV5R in that it has a much better display, much better memory, much better battery life, and it charges with a standard USB-C cable. So far, they seem really durable and perform even better than the old UV5R radios that everybody loved. At under $30, this little technological wonder, is an absolute home run as a gift idea for Christmas. And if you really love them, you could get them an aftermarket Nagoya 771 antenna, and it really increases the performance of this little bad boy. If you watched my video titled Hunting Belts, you'd see that the inexpensive marsupial gear belt was the clear winner out of all the hunting belts I tested. Hunters don't want bulky belts that interfere with packs or hunting vests while you're out hunting. And we also don't want rigid belts that dig into us when we climb over obstacles or when we crouch for a long time behind cover. The marsupial gear belt is very low profile and it has some stretch to it. So it almost feels like you aren't even wearing a belt at all. It also has no latches or plastic parts that might break. And this is also probably the easiest belt you'll ever have to hook and unhook. So it's easy to take off when nature calls. And I also love the adjustability of this belt. I'll sometimes make slight adjustments to this belt during the day, depending on how bloated I am. And, I can even adjust this belt while I'm still wearing it. This is only $30 and it's made in the USA. So your hunter is sure to love a belt like this. Like most hunters out there, I just hate shooting with gloves on, but sometimes it's just too damn cold not to wear them. I tried neoprene and vinyl gloves, and although they are waterproof, I just can't shoot very good in them. Well, about 2 years ago, I ran into a guy while I was quail hunting that had these gloves on, and he said they were literally the only gloves that kept him warm while still allowing him to shoot good. And I quickly bought a set and I instantly fell in love with them. Then, during a pheasant hunt in January last year, my wife found my gloves, ditched her gloves, and refused to give mine back. So we now both use these gloves during winter hunts. And they even make a finger hole version of these. And I also have those, and I use those sometimes. But just like Darn Tough socks that you saw earlier in this video, these are made of merino wool also and have the same benefits. The thumb, index, and middle finger also have a coating on them that allows you to use the touchscreen on your phone with your gloves on, which is also a nice feature. And I can honestly say that these are the best $30 gloves that you'll ever own. In modern day hunting circles, digital hunting maps have been an absolute game changer. We can now get on our phones, find public land, scout that land from a satellite, and know every detail of an entire area. And using the same app, we could see our own location and track our path as we go. And to make this even better, we can do all of this without even having cell reception. onX was the first company to offer this technology to the hunter, and I still think it's the best out there. Honestly, I use my onX app for more than just hunting. I pretty much use it for everything. But it isn't free though. You have to pay a yearly membership. And if the hunter in your family isn't currently subscribed to some type of hunting app, the best gift he'll ever receive is an annual membership to the onX hunting app. And there's various levels of membership, but most guys who only hunt one state will get a simple premium membership for that particular state, which is only $35, I believe. But for somebody like me that hunts everywhere and even internationally, I purchased the Elite membership. Out west where I hunt, almost all of us carry a water filter on us to make water as we come across it. Many different methods have been used over the years to make water or purify water. The Sawyer Squeeze Mini was the gold standard for many years, but it's been replaced by something more convenient. The Katadyn BEFREE is a simple, rugged, and very fast way to make drinkable water. Almost every backpacker that I know nowadays uses one of these, and hunters are slowly starting to transition over to the BEFREE system. You basically fill this up with dirty water, squeeze it, and drinkable water comes out. And then when not in use, you could roll this thing up, and it's actually smaller and lighter than a Sawyer Squeeze. You know, it also makes water much faster than the Sawyer system does. You know, I usually use this to top off my Nalgene bottles while I hunt or backpack, and that's a great system. You know, I also take this on international trips with me, and I filter water out of the tap a lot of the time for drinking and to brush my teeth with. So I think this is worth the $39 that it costs. If you watched my video titled My Game Processing Kit, you know that I love Victorinox knives to process my game animals after I bring my meat home. These are made in Switzerland to very high quality standards. In fact, many professional chefs use Victorinox knives for their prep work in the kitchen. The 8-inch breaking knife is the most useful of all the knives in my opinion, and I can quarter and break down an animal into subprimal cuts in no time with this knife. And I think it's the perfect balance in rigidity and flexibility. It has the perfect shape to process game. You know, outside of that, this is also probably the perfect knife for filleting saltwater fish or for shaving the fat off a brisket. These knives are super easy to sharpen to beyond razor sharp. And this grip is also perfect for working in bloody, slippery environments like you find in meat processing. So, in my opinion, you will not find a better game processing knife for $40. You know, and I guarantee you, as far as knives go for cutting meat, this is the best value. Hunters generally don't clean their rifles in the field, and we strive to not need to clean them during hunting season as well. Cleaning a rifle changes point of impact, and we have to foul the barrel again to get it to shoot where we want. And this wastes valuable time and ammunition. But sometimes it's unavoidable if your rifle is dropped in mud or sand, or it gets dipped in a creek or used in heavy rain. We aren't taking big cleaning rods with us and big old cleaning stations with us during a hunt. So we need a small and compact cleaning kit to use in an emergency. It has to be small and light enough to fit in your pack, yet include everything that you might need. For this, the OTIS Universal Rifle Cleaning Kit is really hard to beat. It's only 4 inches wide, and it's very light for all of the material it contains in it. And this will handle everything from 223 up to my 35 Wayland. But the best part about this kit is that it's entirely made in the USA. Among hunters, PETZL is probably the most trusted headlamp brand, and probably currently the most popular model among hunters is the ARIA 2 RGB, which stands for red, green, and blue. And this headlamp has an IP67 rating for water and dust resistance and an IK07 rating for impact resistance. So this is a very tough and reliable headlamp for its price point. Hunters also demand a red and green light option, so we don't spook animals with white light while we work our way into a blind, a stand, or an observation point under the cover of darkness. Predator and pig hunters use it like a green light, and deer hunters like a red light, and this light has both of those. This headlamp takes 3 AAA batteries, but it also takes the core USB-C rechargeable battery packs made by PETZL, which makes it a very versatile headlamp. It also comes in a subdued green or camo variants, which makes it a better match for hunting activities. But at $59, these aren't the cheapest headlamps that you're going to find, but they are better than the cheaper ones. What better way to tell a hunter that you love him than giving him a custom rifle sling with his name on it? Trust me, this is a gift that will make any hunter happy. This gift is an absolute home run. Many companies make custom slings and they'll put somebody's name on them. Just make sure you use a company that does it here in the United States. Cleaning a rifle or installing a scope sucks without a decent gun vise. And today, most hunters universally use the TIPTON Best gun vise. This gun vise clamps a rifle in solidly, and even though it's made of plastic, it isn't too flimsy like a lot of designs are. This is not a professional gunsmith vise, but it's perfect for a hobbyist. And this is probably the best vise for rifle maintenance until you get into models that cost over $200. At $85, this gun vise is an absolute bargain. Hunters absolutely need flashlights, but to a man, a flashlight is more than a tool used to find things when it's dark. When you're sitting in camp, drinking beers with your buddies at night, flashlights become a de facto dick measuring contest. Basically, mine is brighter than yours. So don't cripple your man when the chest thumping starts around the fire pit and the flashlights get whipped out. If your man pulls out a mag light or a surefire light, he's going to feel inadequate in ways that the blue pill won't solve. The NIGHTCORE EDC 35 flashlight solves this problem for under $100. This thing puts out 5,000 lumens at its highest setting, which will allow your man to light up other tents in camp so everybody could laugh at the guys who passed out early. The other men in camp will gather around your husband and wonder why their wives don't love them as much as you love your husband. And this light has numerous light levels. It charges with a USB-C port, and it has great battery life. At $90, it's a really cool thing to own. I remember the days before I owned a vacuum sealer. When I would open up my freezer to grab some meat, I'd sift through Ziploc bags full of fish, birds, and backstraps that looked like Jack Frost ejaculated on them. But those days are no more. I vacuum seal everything now. If you have hunters and anglers in your family that don't vacuum seal, they're really missing out. You know, if you don't want freezer burn or dehydrated meat and you want your meat to last 3 times longer, you need a vacuum sealer. You know, they used to cost a small fortune back when they were made in America, Europe, and Japan. But now that they're all made by slave labor in Southeast Asia, you know, you could finally embrace lower prices on a vacuum sealer. At $90, the FOODSAVER FM 2100 is a decent unit from a reputable manufacturer. Even if a hunter doesn't backpack hunt, a small stove is still a very useful item. When I'm glassing on cold mornings or, you know, something like that, I'll use my JETBOIL to make hot cocoa, you know, while my buddies are using theirs to make coffee. If you want to make a dehydrated meal for lunch in the middle of a day hunt, you know, a little stove like the JETBOIL is perfect. You know, if you're bait fishing in cold weather, there's nothing more convenient than breaking out your JETBOIL to make a hot meal or a cup of hot coffee while you watch your fishing poles. JETBOIL is the most recognizable brand of backpacking stove and was probably the first to offer one in an all-inclusive portable kit. You know, it didn't take long for JETBOIL to also become a favorite among hunters. The JETBOIL Zip is their entry-level stove, and it can be had for $99 right now. Just don't forget, you'll also need an 8-ounce canister of fuel so he can use it. But the fuel is only around $7 a canister. Well, there you go. I just gave you a bunch of great gift ideas from $10 to $100 for the hunter in your life. Every gift idea that you saw in this video has links in the description below. That way you don't have to search all over the internet to find this stuff. Just scroll down in the description below and click on the links. Yes, guys, this video was meant more for the ladies who have a hard time buying gifts for their hunter husbands or sons. Or maybe this video was for the guys so they can give their wives a link to this video when asked, "What do you want for Christmas, honey?" Wives hate it when you take forever to give them gift ideas. So this video makes it easier on you. You're welcome.